Hey everyone, GC Smith here and welcome. It's time for the M15 official spoiler season. Now I say official because we've already had some M15 spoilers coming out from various sources, like people that saw cards from Duels of the Planeswalkers that were new cards, so therefore were pretty much guaranteed to be in M15. They don't just add new cards to Duels of the Planeswalkers without them being paper cards. There was the time Wizards said that there's going to be some cards part of the core set, but won't be available from boosters, only from those little packs they give store owners to give out for free to like completely new players. Some of the cards are standard legal but won't be in core sets. And then there's also the cards that were revealed when the new Wizards website went out. Like, they switched the new style, and for a while you could find the core set decks, your starter decks, up there, and you could see it didn't show the old card or any of the new cards, that were going to be in those decks, but it showed reprints, I think it was. So we know that some of the reprints are going to be around in M15 as well. Anyway, so far I'm going to be talking about the new spoilers. The old spoilers have been around for a couple of weeks now. So people will have already seen those. So I think it's best to talk about the new spoilers. Now, unfortunately, the way I'm filming this video, because I've got a new high-definition camera thing on my phone, I thought I'd try this out for one video. So there's not really any pictures. However, the link to the spoilers will be put in the description below. Now, each of these spoilers is visual. It's mythicspoiler.com. So I'll put that below, and you'll be able to go and see the cards for yourself. So I'm going to be going in the order that they have on the website, and it means we're going to be starting off with a fairly lame card here. Shield of the Avatar. A rare artifact equipment. If a source would deal damage to an equipped creature, prevent X of that damage where X is the number of creatures you controlled. An equip cost of 2. Now, this is a card designed by Richard Garriott. It's mentioned in the new frames where they sometimes put the card designer there, which leads me to suggest, since this is rare and has that it's one of the game designer cards. I'm not exactly sure which game designer or which game he designed, but it's not a very exciting card. I mean, it's equipment, and it's actually not unusable. I definitely think this is going to be an interesting card, maybe for anti-burn strategies, but probably not. In fact, now I'm thinking about it, there's not really a home for this card anywhere in Standard, but it's going to be a decent casual card. It allows a creature to be a good blocker if you have other creatures. Problem with, at the moment, is obviously we have control, Supreme Verdict and stuff in Standard, and I don't think it'll find a place in Modern unless Bolt is that big an issue. So overall, I don't think it's going to be a good card, but it's nice to see this kind of cool, there to be a piece of equipment in the set that's actually kind of interesting to see. Next up, we have Yisan, the Wandering Bard. Green legendary creature, human rogue, 2 colorless, 1 green, converted mana cost of 3. This card is very interesting. Ryan Fargo, I think, is a game designer. This is designed by him. It's a 2/3, and it has ability to pay 2 mana, 2 colors, 1 green, so 3 mana, and tap, and put a verse counter on your and tap it, and you put a verse counter on your the Wanderer Bard. Search your library for a creature card with converted mana cost equal to the number of verse counters on your sand. Put it into the battlefield, then then shuffle your library. Interesting card. It's a creature-based version of Pod that's kind of fixed. You can't just sack another creature and keep getting other creatures. Each time you activate it, it goes up by 1. So the first time you do it, it's a 1 cost, 2 cost, 3 cost, 4 cost, without proliferate. So it's a very slow-going engine, but it's a legendary creature, so I can imagine this being kind of interesting for commander decks that people want to tutor out things. Overall, not a terrible card. Can't imagine it seeing much standard play beyond casual, but it's interesting to see this card out there. I definitely like it as a card. It's going to be nice to have this as kind of as commander. Next up, we have Goblin Kaboomist. 2 convert mana cost of 2, 1 colorless, 1 red. As we can tell from its name, it is a Goblin Warrior. And it has the ability of, at the beginning of your upkeep, put a colorless artifact token named Landmine onto the battlefield with 1 red, sacrifice this artifact. This artifact deals 2 damage to target attacking creature without flying. Then flip a coin. If you lose the flip, Goblin Kaboomist deals 2 damage to itself. Now, I like this as a card. It's a rare card. It's a 1/2 for 2. But it's a goblin, which with that new kind of goblin card producing tokens, could be interesting, although that does force it to attack every turn. Still, I like this card. I think it could find a place in Modern, maybe? I'm not really sure how the goblin decks run, but it's not a terrible card. It kind of looks interesting. And the fact that it gives you a way to kind of deal 2 damage to attacking creatures without flying isn't terrible. Especially since you can put them all on the stack, so if the first one kills Goblin Kaboomis, you've still got ways to kill them. In fact, actually, no, once Goblin Kaboomis dies, you've still got the artifact tokens, so it doesn't really matter then, does it? But if you would lose flip, yeah, Goblin Kaboomis deals 2 damage to itself. Not a terrible card, not a great card. This one was designed by Stone Librande, so I'm assuming this is another game designer card as well. Next up, we have a card called Aggressive Mining, a enchantment for red with a converted mana cost of 4, 3 colourless, 1 red. Once again, it's a rare. Now, if I give you the fact this is a game designer card, what kind of game designer do you think designed a card called Aggressive Mining? That's right, it is none other than Marcus Notch Persson, or Persson, however you pronounce his last name, the creator of Minecraft. And this kind of card is a very interesting card. It's kind of terrible, but I love the artwork, how it just reminds me so much of Minecraft. But anyway, the card says you can't play lands. However, you may sacrifice a land to draw 2 cards. Activate this ability only once each turn. Trying to think of a home for this deck. There isn't one. The red decks that play it want to be able to play their lands rather than keep them in their hand. Like, you don't mind second lands of a card draw in red. I can't see that being terrible. But the fact that you can't play more lands then to keep triggering the ability is kind of terrible. You need to have a way to kind of search library and put cards on the battlefield. Maybe with things like font of... that green font card from Journey to Nyx that puts a land into play. Although you can't play lands, so I'm not really sure how that would work. Interesting card, but not great, not terrible. Well, actually, it's completely terrible. I don't think it will find a play anywhere. Maybe not even in casual. I don't think casual players would play that. I just don't know where that would go. Next up, we have a card called Obnixilis Unshackled. Now, obviously, this is a card that's... we've already had a card in the past called Obnixilis, and this card is really cool. It's a 6 converted mana cost, black... a legendary creature demon, 4 colours, 2 black, 4/4 with flying and trample. Now, 6 mana cost, 4/4 flying with trample in black doesn't seem too bad. However, when we go into its abilities or other abilities, you're going to love this card. It is gorgeous. Whenever an opponent searches his or her library, that player sacrifices a creature and loses 10 life. And whenever another creature dies, put a 1/1 counter on Obnixilis the Unshackled. That is amazing. This is a commander card through and through. It's a legendary creature demon. It is just gorgeous and perfect for demon decks, or perfect for a mono black commander deck. It's just absolutely amazing as a card. I absolutely love this card, and I would love to see it playing in standard, actually. I think that ability would be quite good, although we do need some library searching effects. Now, this is a card designed by Brad Murr. I'm not sure if he's a gamer or game designer or whatever, if he's one of those people. If he is, it's an interesting card to see play. If he isn't, this might be a card that... I mean, even if he is a game designer, sorry. This could be a seeded card for upcoming Khan Satarkia set. There may be a lot of deck searching in that set. So this is kind of like a black hate card for that strategy, though it does come into the game a bit late for that strategy really to be working completely. Next up, we have a card called Master of Predicaments, a 5 converted mana cost blue card, 3 colours, 2 blue, flying. It's a 6 and it's rare and it's a 4/4. Whenever a Master of Predicaments deals combat damage to a player, choose a card in your hand. That player guesses whether the card's converted mana cost is greater than 4. If that player guessed wrong, you may cast the card without paying its mana cost. Interesting card. Not going to see play, I don't think. Putting things into play at that kind of mana cost isn't great. We've already had cards from Theros that gave you 3 stuff. Admittedly, those required you to untap, so this might be slightly better. But a 4/4 flying for 5... without haste and any other really... I just don't really see this scene play over things like Prognostic Sinks, which at least are control-based cards. Not completely terrible. We'll see casual play, maybe commander, but I can't really see it making much waves in standard. Though obviously I could be wrong. I'm not one of the best deck creators or card analyzers out there. Next up, we have actually the first uncommon, or first non-rare card out of all the spoilers, Warden of the Beyond. 2 colourless, 1 white, converted mana cost to 3 for a human wizard. Vigilance, and Warden of Beyond gets +2/+2 as long as an opponent owns a card in exile, and this is a 2/2. So this combines well with Banisher Priest, Banishing Light, Deicide, any card that exiles the opponents. This is a really good card because it becomes a 4/4 for 3 Vigilance. Not terrible card at all for white, I don't think, especially in uncommon. I definitely think then if we're going to get like a Banishing Priest or a Banishing Light reprint, this might be a really decent card for limited. Now, this card was designed by Isaiah Cartwright. And actually, while I'm talking about the design for this one, I should go back and say that the Sphinx previously mentioned was designed by David Serlin. Let's not leave him out. So Warden Beyond's not a terrible card, not a great card. Again, I say not terrible, it's a good card. It's a solid card, 2/2 for 3 in limited isn't bad, especially with Vigilance. But it's better because if you manage to exile an opponent's card, it becomes a 4/4. Next up, we have the Soul of Chandalar. Now, this is an interesting card because, A, we don't know much about the plane of Chandalar, though it is where the core set takes place quite a lot of time. And also because this is a continuation of the Soul cycle that we've had so far with the Soul of Zendikar and Soul of Ravnica. Now, the Soul of Chandalar is red, 6 converted mana cost, 4 colourless, 2 red, and a 6/6 avatar creature. Now, this is a mythic rare with first strike and 2 abilities. The first one, pay 5 mana cost, 3 colours, 2 red. Soul of Chandalar deals 3 damage to target player and 3 damage to up to 1 target creature that player controls. Good because it can shock their player and shock any creatures they play. This is going to be a limited bomb. It's very good and limited with its first strike and the zapping. Good mana sink for limited. I love this card. It will definitely be a card to pick up in limited. Constructed play, not really, but it's not a terrible card. Overall, I just can't see it seeing play because it's so expensive. It has its second ability, obviously, which is basically a mirror. The first one just requires to be used when dead. 5 mana cost again, 3 colours, 2 red. Exile Soul of Chandalar from your graveyard. Soul of Chandalar deals 3 damage to target player and 3 damage to up to 1 target creature that player controls. Nice, but nothing too fancy there. Next up, we have a Convoke card, with Convoke being the returning mechanic to M15, as most of you should know. If you don't, well, Convoke is the returning mechanic for M15. This is a sorcery of converted mana cost X and 2 white. So I think that's converted mana cost 2, but you can cast it for an X and 2 white. And Convoke, which allows you to tap a creature towards its mana cost for 1, or for white if the creature is white. So you can either be colourless or white, depending on the colour of the creature. And you can return X target creature cards with converted mana cost 2 or less from the graveyard to your battlefield. This is a really good card. I absolutely love this card. It might even see play in my junk constellation deck, because there's a way to trigger the constellation again with all the creatures that have already died. I love this card. I think it will definitely see some standard play with some of the cards that are going to be talking about next. One of the cards next, sorry. I just think this is an all-round solid card, and I expected to see some standard constructed play over its lifespan. Next up, we've got the Soul of New Phyrexia, a new soul card, and everyone was hoping for a Phyrexian soul, but since the 5 planes mentioned in Jaws of the Planeswalker, which we thought all the souls would be named after, one of them wasn't Phyrexia, we didn't expect a Phyrexian card. But then again, it's quite an interesting one because it's not a colour-based one. It is a colourless avatar, which makes this absolutely amazing. It's a artifact creature avatar, converted mana cost 6, all colourless, for 6/6 with trample. Now you're telling me you get a 6/6 for 6 with trample for an artifact? That's very mana efficient. Considering colours cards often pay 1 or 2 more for the standard cards, so you'd expect a 2/1 for 3, for example. 2/1 with flying for 4, and this has got trample, so this would be, say, 8/9 mana cost. However, it also has 2 abilities like every other soul. The first one is 5 colourless, permanent you control, gain indestructible end of turn. And next one, 5 converted mana cost, 5 colourless, exile Soul of New Phyrexia from your graveyard, permanents you control gain indestructible until end of turn. This is an absolutely gorgeous card, and this is one of the only souls I think deserves Mythic Rare. A 6/6 trample for 6, which can gain indestructible if you untap, is amazing. I absolutely love this card. It gives all your permanents indestructible, so it deals with board wipes, it deals with sweepers. This is a great anti-control card. It's colourless, so any deck can play it. I love this card. It's going to see constructed play, hands down. Next up, we have another legendary creature, Jalira Master Polymorphist. Blue, of Confirmed Class 4, 3 colours, 1 blue. Legendary creature, human wizard. Like some of the other ones above, like Yasan, it's just got a tap ability. 3 mana, 2 colours, 1 blue. Sacrifice and tap it. Sacrifice another creature. Reveal cards from your top of your library until you reveal a non-legendary creature card. Put that card into the battlefield and the rest on the bottom of your library in random order. I love this card. It's really cool. Could even see play in Standard. Not unless they say it's going to, but maybe in a red-blue deck where you have cards like Soul of New Phyrexia to bring out. It's going to be a really interesting card. Not too great though. I mean, it's a human wizard, so it's a decent tribe, but it's a 2/2 for 4, so it's going to suffer the same fate of Elite Arcanist, which had a really cool ability. It's just too weak, really. Body-wise, but I don't know, maybe it can see play, maybe it won't, we'll have to wait and see. Next up is a card that really excites me. This is the final card for today's spoilers. This is Spirit Bonds, a 2-drop white enchantment, 1 colour, 1 white. Whenever a non-token creature enters the battlefield under your control, you may pay 1 white. If you do, put a 1/1 white spirit creature token with flying onto the battlefield, and you may pay 1 and white, sacrifice a spirit, target non-spirit creature gains indestructible until end of turn. Great card, is definitely going in my Junk Constellation deck, triggers Constellation, creates spirit tokens, is absolutely gorgeous. Will see play in White Weenie, because after a while, any creature you play bringing in flyers, and will be good with Convoking Standard, especially with Return to the Ranks in the same deck. Absolutely a good card. Return to the Ranks, convoke all your creatures into play, then double your army with Spirit Bonds. Love this card. We'll definitely see play, I reckon, in the future. Absolutely amazing. So that's the spoilers for today, and as I said, all of these spoilers will be posted. Sorry, all the link to all these spoilers will be posted below the video. I know this will be my first video in a while. Hopefully you guys enjoy it. Share this video around. Hopefully this video will be put up onto MTG Salvation for anyone who just wants a little bit of opinion about some of these cards. Not that people will do. But obviously, if you like the video, don't forget to like, subscribe if you want to see more of these videos. I'll be trying to do these every day. Now that I'm not in uni at the moment, I've got revision to do for retakes during the summer, but obviously that shouldn't take too long of my day. So hopefully I'll be able to do these every day, keep up the spoilers, and hopefully you guys will enjoy this. So thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to share around and like, and I'll see you next time.